Friday. Well, sort of. We're not really going to have any open lines today. I'm just going to talk. But it is Friday, and it's going to be a great day today. It's supposed to get up to like, 94 degrees or something like that, which is a wonderful day in Beaumont, as you well know. It's not even going to rain or anything, so it's going to be awesome. Well, you might have recalled that I spoke a couple of days ago about Kevin Hart having to close his restaurants out there in California because of the minimum wage. Well, meanwhile, we're finding out even more about this. It's happening to everyone. One restaurant, however, which is not going to follow suit, they're not going to close, the Chipotle. They're going to bring in robots. Because here's the thing about robots. Robots always come to work on time. Robots always do the jobs they're told to do, assuming the programming was correct. They never ask for a raise. They never take a sick day. They always wear clean clothes. You don't have to ask them to shave or brush their teeth. You don't have to ask them, like, what was it, American Airlines had to ask their people, not to wear hog rings in their nose and stuff like that. Where that started, I have no idea. I may find out, though, and if I do, I'll tell you. But anybody with a rudimentary high school level knowledge of electronics could have told you to magically, federally mandate a pay wage for low-skill employees was going to have dire consequences. This isn't resulting in a bunch of low-skill employees all of a sudden making a living wage. No, it's resulting in most of those low-skill employees not having a job. So Chipotle, fast casual Mexican restaurant that boasts handcrafted foods, announced on Monday they touted the debut of the company's new avocado machine, which cuts, cores, and peels avocados to create the restaurant's signature guacamole. Now, I don't know about you guys, but man, I love me some guacamole. But they've announced that the avocado is going to go into all of their restaurants. The debut of the augmented make line, which is going to use automated technology to build bowls and salad. Chipotle employees operate the top make line to make burritos, tacos, quesadillas, and kids' meals. Now, having automated help to work the guacamole and the bowls and the salads isn't much of a start on fully replacing human employees, but nonetheless, it is a start. This is the direction we're taking in America because we have people that have no brains. I mean, you've all heard the joke about the book on the success of socialism, all the countries that it's worked in. And of course, you get the book and there's nothing in there but blank pages because socialism has never worked. Communism has never worked. I mean, they've killed a lot of people, but they've never had a successful economy. This is a disastrous course. And despite the arguments that say otherwise, California Democrat Governor Gavin Newsom signed this Assembly Bill 1287 into law, which provides for the $20 per hour minimum wage for workers. The Research Center bluntly laid out the immediate results of Newsom's grand plan, but between last fall and January, California fast food restaurants cut 9,500 jobs. That is almost 10,000 people that were put out of work at a point in time when we have hundreds of thousands of people coming across our border that are going to be looking for jobs. How do you think that's going to work out? Total private employment in California declined to just 0.2% during the same period. It makes it tempting to conclude that many of those who lost fast food jobs that resulted from higher labor costs that the employers would need to pay. More fast food job losses are coming as the new minimum wage took effect earlier this month. This includes losses at Pizza Hut, Round Table Pizza. They're in the process of firing nearly 1,300 delivery drivers. El Pollo Loco, the crazy chicken in English, and Jacques in the Box, that fine fresh restaurant, they're going to speed up the use of robotics as well. They're going to use robots to make salsa and cook fried foods. Fast food prices are up since the law took effect on April the 1st. And in less than a month, Wendy's has increased their prices by 8%. So if you want a square hamburger, my friends, be prepared to pay for it. The most damning condemnation of the minimum wage doesn't come from any think tank, legal scholar, or worldly economist. It actually comes from Gavin Newsom himself. The beleaguered governor is part of an investment group that happens to own several high-end eateries and wineries in California. You might recall during COVID when everyone else was shut down, he was partying at one of his own restaurants with no masks. Surely those employees in his restaurant are going to make $20 an hour, right? Well, no, they make just $16 an hour. Gavin Newsom is basically saying, I know it's not sustainable. You simply cannot pay low-skilled workers a living wage without eliminating jobs or raising prices. And if you raise prices, guess what? Business goes down. You don't sell as much. So the result is the same either way. You raise prices, you end up laying people off. If you pay a higher minimum wage, you have to lay people off. It's just not an option. In other news, Representative Matt Gaetz, one of my faves, Republican from Florida, said Thursday that senior Homeland Security Department officials approached him as a whistleblower shortly before the second assassination attempt on Donald Trump's life. He alleges that U.S. officials are currently aware that there are 5 different assassination teams currently going after the president. You might recall that I predicted that this would be the case after the first one. Gaetz told the Just the News editor, John Solomon, during an interview at the Human Events Daily Show on Rural America's Voice Network that he believes 3 of the teams are foreign-inspired and 2 are domestic-based. Trump was the subject of a second assassination attempt over the weekend. I talked about that here yesterday on the 800-pound gorilla story. And if you didn't get that, go to the Doc Green YouTube channel and you can get it there. It's short and sweet, written by my friend Wilbur Witt. Anyway, the Secret Service engaged with an armed suspect after one agent noticed the barrel of an AK-47 protruding from the bushes where he was hiding. Now, folks, I got to ask this question because going back to the 800-pound gorilla story, this guy was so inept that he would stick his barrel out of the bushes? Come on. I'm not an assassin, and I'm not trained to be an assassin, but I can tell you if I was going to be, you would not see my barrel sticking out. I'd be back away from the window or whatever place I was hiding because I would not want to be spotted. It's easy to spot a barrel sticking out because it's completely wrong. It doesn't match nature. It's a very straight, hard line. So you immediately recognize it if you see it. Seems odd to me. The suspect fled and was later apprehended, and they're saying it was Ryan Wesley Routh, who's 58, and they charged him with firearms violations. Of course, he had a long criminal history, and every time that he would get slapped with a crime, he would magically get a get-out-of-jail-free card. It was crazy. Anyway, Matt Gaetz said, I had an official from the Department of Homeland Security in my office before the second assassination attempt, saying that, according to what they knew, there were 5 assassination teams in the United States, 3 of them inspired by other governments, 2 that are already here that are known domestic assassination teams. And with that, this individual was coming to me concerned that the force protection around Donald Trump, even prior to the second assassination attempt, was insufficient for what it needed to be. Well, no fooling. Sherlock. Yeah. Look, we understand that the Democrats that are currently running everything, that includes the Department of Injustice, which includes the FBI, the CIA, all of those guys, they want Trump dead, and they want him dead yesterday. They're going to do whatever they can to make this happen and still pretend like they're going to protect him. But yeah, to say that his protection detail is insufficient, oh man, a master of understatement here. 5 teams we know are targeting Trump, he said. So that raises the real question as to why certain teams have been pulled off the Trump detail and, for instance, sent to take care of Dr. Jill. Dr. Jill, as you know, has an honorary PhD in library science. Now, we don't want anything to happen to Joe Biden, not like what happened to Joe's wife and kids after he started dating her, but at the same time, the threat envelope for her was substantially different than the threat envelope around Donald Trump. And it would not have necessitated pulling assets away from the Trump detail for the Joe Biden detail or the John Bolton detail or any other details that were beefed up at the same time. The requests from the Trump detail and from the Trump campaign for more security were going unanswered. U.S. authorities have charged a Pakistani man, Asif Merchant, with working with Iran in an attempt to hire a gunman to kill Trump before Merchant himself was arrested July 12th, one day before the first assassination attempt in Butler, Pennsylvania. They have not disclosed any other plots publicly involving the former president. Several Senate and House members who have been briefed on the 2 assassination attempts against Trump told Just the News at justthenews.com on Thursday afternoon during their briefings about 5 teams or plots that they're aware of that are here targeting multiple U.S. officials. 1 senior federal law enforcement official and 1 intelligence official, both speaking on the condition of anonymity, confirmed that U.S. authorities were aware of multiple plots tied to Iran and other terrorists seeking to assassinate current or former U.S. officials. The intelligence spans several years and has led to significantly enhanced protections for figures like Donald Trump. Yeah, significantly enhanced. For Trump? Yeah, right. Former President George Bush, former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, former National Security Advisors John Bolton and Robert O'Brien. Most sources said this involves retribution for the assassination of a top Iranian general during the Trump years. Shihab Ahmed Shihab was arrested by federal agents in 2022 and later pled guilty to charges of exchanging money as an attempt to illegally smuggle Iraqi foreign nationals through the Mexican border into the United States to assassinate President Bush. Well, look, I'm just sharing that info with you. Makes a lot of sense, but we know what's really going on here. And we know that Donald Trump's Secret Service protection, once again, as I've said before, is the angels of the mighty God in Christ. And that's the Secret Service protection that he can count on.
You have a choice, and you chose Freedom 1300.